on the Bob Miles Legacy website. And so for anybody who wants to come back and have an opportunity to check it out. But in saying thank you, there are people who've been on this journey with us from the beginning. And so I want to extend a really, really profound thank you to them. And I want to thank, Bruce and Debbie from the NAACP. They're in New York taking care of their daughter who just had some health challenges she had to deal with. My brother, Larry Ham. So when you read the book, you read about the fact that, my children have participated in, protests and demonstrations over decades. Most and many of which, Larry and Pop were, instrumental in happening. And so on King's birthday, other times we would be at Pop rallies. And so Larry's been on this journey for such a long time. I'm hoping that the brother's gonna finish his book so that soon we can have another party to celebrate that. I definitely wanna make sure to acknowledge, I hope my brother John Brinkley and some of the brothers from the Frontiers are on. They've been doing some really serious work, and I'm hoping that Kyle Lucas is on, because I've been talking to her and Frontiers about, while our family has been able to endure through a lot, but we've had a lot of help. And so there are individuals and organizations that have been instrumental in the journey that we've been participating in. And so, the mentor projects. And so I hope that Mary Mapp is on, since I was raised in Plainfield, before New Horizons was called New Horizons. We went through a pre-college program so that we would be able to actually prepare ourselves to go to college. And so I'm hoping that New Horizons is going to be resurrected, because it's one of the things that absolutely needs to be manifested. And so, the mentor projects, the different ways that we've looked at how do we support, the people who are, the organizations and individuals. So as parents, and I know that there's a bunch of parents on the call, then, we want to know that there are people who are reinforcing our message. And so some of the organizations, some of the different things that have transpired are, I'm just incredibly grateful for. So Naima was in AXO, Imani and Naima were in New Horizons when it was taking place. They all participated in the band, participated in other kind of activities. And so our children need that kind of reinforcement. And I see some, folks, when our family moved to Plainfield in the 1960s, it was predominantly white. And then because of the rebellion that took place in 1967, we lived through white flight. And then Plainfield became predominantly African-American. And I'm not sure if it's more Latino than African-American now, but we've seen the population change. And then there's some people on this journey who have really been instrumental in helping me write this book. And so some of the people that endorsed the book are on the call. So I want to say an immense thank you. My editor and coach, Kim, is on the call. It was an arduous task sometimes to get all of this stuff in order, but we managed to make it happen. My brother Sam Anderson, I hope, is on the call. Me and Sam go back a long time, and so he was going to edit it and said, "No, man, you got a lot more work to do before this is going to be ready to be a book." Deborah's one of the endorsers of the book. Bruce, the president of NAACP, is one of the endorsers of the book, and so there are a lot of people. And I told people this from the beginning, because every time people would ask me, am I going to write a book about being a single dad? I said, yeah, but I need a village around me to get this done. And so I'm grateful for the fact that, some of the people on the call are people who actually stepped up to make it happen. I'm hoping the Derek's on the call. That's my younger brother by behavior. When we were at Middlesex, the Derek we used to do these Kwanzaa programs, and so the Derek would come and drop some of his poetry. And so the idea of the NOMO, the power of the spoken word, was something that we used to talk about 20 years ago. And so while we're using the spoken word today and the written word today, but it's the power of our ideas and the power of our commitment to certain things that allows us to manifest some of the things that we're trying to get done. And so I'm hoping that Marisol is on the call. Marisol is one of Imani's co-workers that I met when I went out to Portland a couple of weeks ago. And so Marisol hosted us, and so I'm profoundly appreciative of that, and is hosting a book party for us in Portland. And so, it's so the idea of this has been something that has been I just really, really profoundly appreciated. And I'm hoping that it's going to lead to some conversations about what we do to strengthen our families, to make sure that our children have a healthy and wholesome environment to grow up in, and that we will see. I mean, so the idea of reparations has come up in this conversation about this current election. And so before the call, I was talking to one of my friends and former coworkers, Jerry, about the fact that, you know, we have some work to do to get this current occupant out of the White House. I refuse to call this fool the president because he doesn't conduct himself appropriately. But we have to change. I mean, and so we have to think about what's going to happen for our children that are going to school. I mean, my granddaughter Nia, you know, and other children who are going to be going to school, you know, what kind of environment they're going to go into? Are they going to be in a healthy and a safe space to be able to learn? I mean, so we have some real work to do. So different times people ask me, you know, when I quote unquote retired, I said, no. I'm just changing my work circumstance. I get to be more selective about what I work on. And so finishing the book was one of the things that was important to me because I wanted to be an opportunity to have some additional conversations and to participate in some community work. And I just hope that, you know, and I'm confident that with some of the people that's on this call, that's going to happen, that we're going to figure out ways to strengthen. I mean, and it's amazing to think that in 2020, we still have to build the scaffolds and ladders that some families and children need, but that's what the universe calls us to do right now. So I have a profound respect for the work that Susan Taylor is doing with the CARES mentoring effort that she's involved in. And so when we think about the work that people are doing, then yeah, it's time for us to think about how we can contribute. So if we're fortunate enough to be working, fortunate enough to be healthy, fortunate to have whatever resources that we have, then we have to find a way to harness those resources to make sure that, you know, we can manifest the things we like to see manifest. And so I see some former folks, some of my Rutgers folks. And so RAAA is one of the organizations that, you know, I really appreciate the work, because for many of us and all of the crew, and including myself, are Rutgers alums, but we faced that W.E.B. Du Bois. You know, I love this brother. Du Bois was like, this brother was just incredible. But when Du Bois wrote that whole idea about double consciousness for African Americans to go to Rutgers, we experienced that double consciousness because sometimes we're treated like we're not supposed to be there. And we have to endure through it anyway, get the degree, get the skills, and then figure out a way to put those skills to good use. And so, you know, so I see Jim Plummer. I know when Jim was inducted into the Rutgers Hall of Fame, he reminded me that when I was a student, we used to do the celebration to honor African-American men. And so Jim said, the first award I got was from Bill Davis. We were honoring Black men. And I was like, brother, given your work and your history, I'm just incredibly happy. I hope Joel's on. I love Joel. My man does some phenomenal work. And so, you know, I want all of us to think about how we can support each other. And so I look at this book as an opportunity to facilitate some conversations, to figure out a way that we can collaborate and do some more work together. I have profoundly appreciated the people that I've had the opportunity to work with. And, you know, I'm incredibly proud and happy of the crew. You know, we've had some bumps in the road, but we managed to get through all the different challenges that we had to get through. And some of you have been incredibly supportive. And so when they were mad at me, they might come and talk to y'all. And so, you know, but that's what it takes. That's what it takes in order for us to be able to accept the fact that sometimes there may be other people who can connect and communicate to the crew in a way that, you know, reinforces the message that they need to hear from somebody other than the parent. And so, you know, part of the cause, some of y'all have never met the crew. And so we're going to go from youngest to oldest. And so, Dream, come on and let folks meet you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Naima Davis, Naima Ife Sophia Davis. My name means benevolent loved one. And this is how we used to have to introduce ourselves to everyone we met, starting at like the age of 8 for me. So now at 31, I've become more comfortable with that. So
nice voice.
Thank you to whoever that was. But my name means benevolent loved one and wise, and I am the youngest.
Hello, everyone. My name is Imani Davis. Imani. I was named after the 7th principle of Kwanzaa. Imani means faith. My middle name is Nefertari, and Naima is right. We always had to introduce ourselves like that. So excited and happy that all of you are here. Looks like we have over 131 people on Zoom and 20.
Wow.
Wow.
So thank you all.
Very popular.
I want to give a special shout out to my Nike family. We have people joining from Portland to Australia. So thank you guys so much for being here. Appreciate it. I'm going to pass it over to Toussaint now for his intro.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Toussaint. I was named after Toussaint Louverture, who successfully led the first slave revolution in the Western Hemisphere, defeating the French. I've become much more comfortable with this, as Naima said, as I've gotten older. You'll read about some of those trials and tribulations in the book, but I just want to say I'm incredibly proud of Baba. This was something he's been working on, ostensibly for 37 years. As he was thinking about how he was going to go on this journey alone. And he didn't have to do it all by himself. And so I just want to say thank you to everybody who's dialed in today via Zoom, via Facebook Live. If you couldn't be here, if you're still going to get a copy of the book, we appreciate it as a family. I think it's an important story, as Papa mentioned. And thank you for everybody.
I can get the other phone, Kana.
All right, where's Sekou?
Sekou's on Facebook Live, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get him in.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you,
We hear you,
Sekou.
Sekou.
All right, I'm Sekou, oldest of the crew. Sekou means one who fights for just causes. Sekou is also Sekou Touré, who was the first president of Guinea, who I was named after. My middle name, Babatunde, is Father is Reborn, so it's similar to Julie. So as the oldest of the crew, we definitely have been on this journey for a long time, and I have been able to really witness firsthand how some of the lessons that Baba has instilled in the book apply to fatherhood now that I am a proud father of Nia, first grandchild. And, I get to really see a lot of what he's talked about, not only through the book, but just throughout life, and now say, wow, it all makes sense. So you have a different level of appreciation once you get on this journey. And this book, just like, life is still ongoing. We all were able to contribute in our own ways, but the story, it still lives on. So I definitely appreciate everyone's support, joining, and also support with purchasing the book. And yeah, let's keep the marathon continue.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And so everybody, it is a amazing moment, and one that I just feel so honored and privileged to be connected and facilitate. I just think that as a community and as a family, and so all of us have embraced each other in some form or another, either in person or virtually, or by way of the work that we do. And so I'm hoping that we are going to continue to figure out a way to do that. One of the things that was asked for me to do was to read something from the book. And so I want to read the epilogue. Hope it doesn't spoil it for anybody, but it is very appropriate for this moment. Saturday, May 30th, 2020. New Jersey has 159,608 cases of coronavirus and 11,634 deaths. It's been exactly 4 weeks since our family has been traumatized by COVID-19. My nephew fought back tears as he witnessed the John Kennedy medical staff in Edison put his brother on a ventilator. All of us are frightened, and as the uncertainty about what comes next is agonizing. Like many other states, New Jersey has placed restrictions on visiting family and loved ones in hospital and nursing homes. The policy is intended to flatten the curve. It is understandable from a public health perspective, but it causes significant anxiety and tension for family members. Our family is one of thousands of African-American families infected by the virus. The disproportionate impact has had a devastating effect on families and communities, physical, emotional, and financial circumstances that will have negative generational consequences. Despite the coronavirus health crisis, I went to a protest I went to protest the virus of racism, police brutality with thousands of others. In addition to the restrictions regarding hospital and nursing homes, New Jersey, among other states, has issued shelter-in-place orders. But witnessing the brutal murder of George Floyd, I was inspired by many of our ancestors, Malcolm, Martin, Mandela, Harriet, Fannie Lou, Frederick. We could definitely add John Lewis to this list, among others. Being at the protest was cathartic and in a step towards healing. Mayor Ras Baraka and my brother Larry Ham were two of the many speakers that encouraged us to fight injustice. Seeing so many defy the restrictions and was encouraging. The spirit of resistance was definitely alive. In historical context, there have been many protests, and there were many protests in over 100 cities and abroad, which was the first time since the assassination of Dr. King. The current protest brought back memories of the first protest riot in Plainfield, ironically over the same issue, police brutality. As I complete the book, the current crisis are a discerning reminder of the racism and police brutality virus that has infected the country for hundreds of years. It is a profound reminder of the challenge of parenting African-American children in this climate. The anxiety of our children being the victim of police or racist violence is ever present. My hope for all African-American and other parents of color is to honor the tradition of overcoming these challenges and to the best of their ability to create a healthy environment to raise their children. I hope that more Black fathers will tell their stories to help change the narrative about the Black father's myth. The negative stereotypes of Black fathers, lack of involvement in their children's lives due to incarceration, drugs, and laziness are false. Yet these statements and images are regularly portrayed in mass media. Black fathers are present, and studies show that fathers are more involved in daily care, such as bathing, feeding, and dressing, homework, and playtime. We love our children. Yes, we do. And so I'm hoping that as you read the book, there will be some nourishment. This call for me is nourishment. I'm hoping that it's nourishing for all of you. I'm hoping that it will be something in there that will, in this call and in the book, because we need some nourishment to get through this current environment that we're facing right now. And so this, however, virtually, whatever virtual form medium that we have to use, but I'm just grateful for the fact that we are being able to spend some time together, to be able to share, to be able to communicate. And, fortunately on Zoom, we can actually see each other, even though I can't see everybody, but we can see a lot of the people on the call. And so I am profoundly grateful and happy. And I don't know if we're going to have the opportunity for a couple of people to say something, but I would certainly like to hear from a few folks if they want to have an opportunity to express something to the whole group. Thank you.
So if you have any comments, actually, before you speak, can you just write your name in the chat, and that way we can unmute you when it's your time. And
I do want to thank some of my former students on the call. It's been amazing to put the information out. There've been different former students and colleagues sending messages of congratulations and everything. It's been absolutely phenomenal. And so I'm not sure that any of them I'm hoping some of them are on here. I know some of them said that they would be, but I'm certainly hoping that's the case.
Okay, so first, Sam Anderson.
Oh yeah. Where's my brother S.E.?
Brother Bill and family, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, brother, very well.
Right, okay. Congratulations. When I first saw the manuscript, like you said, it was beyond my capabilities of doing the editing. Because I'm really not an editor like that, even though, I've edited a number of journals and stuff like that, but you really needed somebody who's able to get down into the text itself and exercise it out. But Brother Bill, I have not met all of your family, but we've known each other from the 80s.
Yes, we have.
right?
Mhm.
When I was at the New School, and you were at NYU.
Well, in fact, even we were both at Rutgers Newark.
Oh, right, at Rutgers Newark, yes, yeah,
Right.
Rutgers Newark, yes, exactly,
Mhm.
at Rutgers Newark, and that the Rutgers experience for both of us was, I guess, very interesting.
Absolutely.
And you know, we've crossed paths over the years and so forth, and I really felt very proud of you being a working single father to the children, and that I knew that was going to be a struggle. But I also was confident in various conversations with you that you will be able to successfully nurture children who will go on to be young Black adults who have some sort of consciousness and willingness to continue the struggle. That's so very, very important. And as you mentioned in this period, you know, this triple pandemic that
Mhm.
we have the pandemic of the madness from the punk with power. We have the viral pandemic, and we have the economic and police brutality kind of ongoing pandemic in our communities. And I think that's very, very important when people read this book to see how a family, a Black family, can shape itself, arm itself to survive through what seems to be an impossibility, and not only survive but also thrive. And so I congratulate you and your family on coming out with this work, and I will help try to promote it around. I had mentioned to you the possibility of finding somebody who could slip it to Oprah.
Maybe actually one of those $100 that she did, you know.
Yeah, or even Obama, you know, to get their little statement out, and you know, tens of thousands of books would be sold within a week.
Absolutely.
From that, you know.
Yeah, because
I think it's extremely important that we utilize the various networks and connections we have. You know, Senator Larry Ham will be very, very important with this. So congratulations,
Hello.
everybody.
Thank you, my brother.
Right.
Hello.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Dr. Bethel here. Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
Dr. Bethel, how are you, sir?
Oh, how you doing, my famous Bill Black Davis?
Now that you on the call, I'm doing a lot better.
Oh, well, you know, from former student to colleague, and I'm so proud of you. And you get better looking with age. Except for that noggin on your forehead that a policeman hit you with a bully club.
Yeah, I got beat down, but it's all good.
Oh, but I'm so proud of your daughters and your sons and what you have done, you know, as a father. I remember years ago seeing you on Sesame Street.
Oh, Reading Rainbow.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, you are very much a part of my life, and I'm glad that you're writing, and writing is so important. Keep on writing. You write well.
Thank you.
As you know, I'm finishing my 7th book and starting on my 8th.
Wow.
And it is, but I'm 81 years old, so
wow.
It's about time. But but I want you to know that I love you.
Thank you, sir.
And you know, keep up the good work. And my wife and I are so proud of you and what you're doing and your book. I just need to get a copy of it. Is it hard to get a copy?
I did very momentarily.
And we already started sharing.
So those people that don't know, Dr. Leonard Bethel was my professor when I was a student at Rutgers. He was the chairperson, he was the faculty chair, the professor emeritus of the Africana Studies Department. And him and his wife moved from, he used to be a pastor in Plainfield, and moved out to Pennsylvania. But every year when RAAA hosts the Hall of Fame event, Dr. Bethel and his wife always come to support new people who are being inducted to the Hall of Fame. And so Dr. Bethel, I've admired, I know when the Rutgers Theological Center was hosting an event, and you came, drove by yourself from Pennsylvania to the event, and you know, I know that sometimes your hip gives you problems, but you were so determined to come. I've been inspired by the work that you've done for a long time. The way that you cared about students, because you know, Rutgers has had you know, not necessarily the most hospitable place to be sometimes. And so when people ask me, because you got to remember now, I graduated in 1976, and people just ask me, we're going to do a degree in Africana Studies. I don't know, but that's just what I need to do. Because it was the place
Well, yes.
I was received the way that I felt that I should be received. And so all these years later, that information, that support has manifested with me and my children in a very significant way. And so I am incredibly grateful to you and the care and the information that you shared over all these years. Thank you, sir. Immensely.
Well, you're going to get many awards. And I tell you, if you keep yourself healthy, you know, I did 42 years on the faculty at Rutgers. And some of the things are coming to me. You know, Lincoln University is confirming on me the Dr. Humaine's letter, honorary degree. And there are just so many other things. And you know, my wife and I live on the street that I got named, the first street named after an African-American woman in the state of Pennsylvania, Leah Lane.
Wow.
And as you know, that was one of my books. And I just am just so proud of you and your children. And you're just truly blessed, and you're going to get many awards. And I'm right there with you. And if I'm healthy enough and able to move around, and when you're doing things, I'll get there. But wife is not doing too well, but I do the best I can at my age, and I can still drive, and I'll do the best I can. But it is a blessing to see you and your family and what you've done as a father to make them productive human beings, and a real credit to our people. God bless you.
That's Linda Rivero.
Yes. Hi there, Bill.
How are you?
Family. What a legacy you're leaving for all of us. And the underbelly of disparity is just really reared its head, that we've all known has always been there. Now the world can really believe in us. And so we leave that to God. He's got this. It breaks the world open. The light will come in, and your time has come. I couldn't be prouder to know you, for your beautiful young women. This was a man I met when I was in college, who was nothing but respectful, and I'm sure a very faithful man, and just have the best memories. And then I moved out to California, but I reconnected with you, Bill, when I sent my son back to Rutgers, hoping that he could get an East Coast swing and understand us all a little better. And I asked him if he wanted me to come home, and he said, "No, hell no, wait for me in California. What can I say?" So, I tried, but I've loved that we've kept in contact all these years. I think you have truly left a footprint in our hearts, those of us who grew up together, but certainly a legacy and a story needing to be told and heard, I think, in a way that you put forth. And I will do everything, I promise you, with my network. I do a lot of diversity and inclusion work out here in California. And I will set the network on fire and let them know what you're doing. And which of the two beautifuls here was going to come to LA and California? I was ready to receive you. Who was it?
Well, Imani's in Portland, and just hanging out.
All right. Well, you know what? It'll still happen, and just keep hope alive. Yeah, keep hope alive.
Thank you, my dear. Appreciate it. Stay well out there.
Right. Thank you. God bless all of you. You are truly in abundance, as our sister said. Abundance is this.
Thank you. Thank you.
In spirit and in truth. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Kim, you ready? Kim is the coach and editor. You'll beat me in line.
Hey, guys, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we do.
Okay, I just wanted to thank everyone for joining on this call. I'm just so proud of Bill. I mean, this is a congratulatory moment as well. I certainly don't know him or have stories the way you guys do. We've only met about a year ago. But I do thank everyone who has contributed to get him to this point. He's a phenomenal person, as you all know. Very matter of fact. So Anderson, my biggest job was just pulling it out of him to get him to stop being so cool. Like, that's just what I do. Well, no, we had to get the story together. So, but very proud. It's just, he's just a phenomenal man. His children are absolutely amazing. Thank you all for your support, your answering all my questions. And even if I ask you the same question 100 times, thank you so much. But I think that overall the story is definitely will bless the masses. It will, the legacy, and just coming up with the name of Baba's Legacy, that's really what it is. And people will just be blessed. And I'm just so honored to have been a part of it. But I thank you all for encouraging him to keep going. And it is a great story, a good read from a phenomenal man who will certainly have an impact on the future generations. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm muting.
Okay. Larry Ham.
Can you hear me? Bill, can you hear me?
Oh, looks like
Yes.
This is Albert Collier.
My brother Albert, what's happening?
Mr. Collier.
All right.
That's my fault. I'm sorry. I didn't know there was a line. I can't see the chat.
I'm sorry, man. I just jumped ahead. I'll wait.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, now that I got the moment, oh Lord, it's hard to say sometimes when someone's been a part of your life the way that you and your family have been. I think since the day that Naima and Ciel, my oldest daughter, found each other in the sandbox, it's been a very fun odyssey, literally and figuratively. They've been, it's like one of those, you want to be my best friend? Okay. And we were off to the races. So, but it's been a real blessing. I mean, watching Imani become the person she is, girl got her 2 masters and keep going for her PhD next, who knows? I mean, with Tucson and everything going on, and Sekou and Nia, Lord, it feels like this is the dream that we all worked hard for, to be able to see the children rise and become the people that they are today.
Absolutely.
And part of that journey now is going to continue that process, because now the real landmines are out, because now their stuff is real. I mean, these kids are making real money, they're making real decisions, and they're doing real things that shake stock prices, that shake industries, that do all that sort of thing. And the untold story, I believe, of today is just going to be the unparalleled success that our young people are achieving. And the key now is just going to be looking at the books like yourself, and the continued involvement and the continued just support. I mean, truly, I just have to digress one moment, because, seeing Dr. Bethel before, I don't know anybody who came through Rutgers at the time that we did, whose lives were not positively touched and influenced by Dr. Bethel.
Absolutely.
He was the one who made it clear to me that, in spite of all the things that you have going on, you can't do it all. And you need to make sure that as parents, you surround your children with, amazing people and a positive environment. And I think of his 2 kids, a lawyer and a brain surgeon. I know he's bright, and I know his wife, Veronica, is an amazing lady, but those guys had to do some work. I mean, that was hard work, and that's the key.
Yes, it is.
Sticking with them, helping them grow, and helping them become the people that they're going to be.
Absolutely.
So I thank Dr. Bethel for his mentorship, and for the example he set, and for the example that Mrs. Bethel has set as a mother and as a spouse and a friend. And I just thank you and all the people now associated with our RAAA. And I say RAAA because it is.
Yes, it is.
We are the
Yeah, we are, brother.
you know.
It does, but Albert, I got to get a couple of people before we jump off the call, bro.
Oops. See, this is why I'm trying to hold back.
And maybe he looked like them.
Thank you, though, brother.
And thanks for leading by example as a parent, bro.
Okay, Larry Ham, you are up.
There's Larry.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Bill, I couldn't hold back the tears, man. And I'm not lying. I couldn't hold back the tears, brother. You are doing so much for us and for Black fathers. When people write a book about their legacy, they're usually at the end of the story. But I feel this is just the beginning of a second chapter for you, brother. This is the first of, not the first, this is another one of many great accomplishments you're gonna have in your life. But with this book, you know why I'm sitting here in tears, man? To see you with your sons and your daughters, that y'all did this together. In this time when Black people need unity more than ever. So you setting an example. And as a father myself who's raised 3 daughters, I just identify you one of my heroes, man. You one of my heroes, brother. And thank you, and stay strong, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Keep fighting, and sons and daughters, keep doing the great things that you're doing too, because you just all, the Davis family is making us all so proud. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. You know, I love you, fam. You know, I've been a huge fan for a long time. But I gotta hear from my man, LeDerrick. Where's D at? Come on, D. Gotta hear something, brother.
Hey, Brother Bill.
What's happening, D?
You know, it's well, let me say this. First, I bought my 5 copies before I got on.
Oh, thank you, brother.
And I'm gonna need them autographs. You know that's
no question, brother. No question.
And the first one I want to give to is my brother, who is raising the newest members of my family, the newest generation. My niece and nephew are, I guess, 4 and 5 now, and he's doing an excellent job. But I know he can get some pointers from your book, and I just want to say thank you for writing the book, thank you for putting that out in the world, and thank you also for, you know, I know you always introduce me as being your brother, but I also can say wholeheartedly that you've been an amazing father figure to me. You and I met when I was a student at Middlesex County College, and I didn't know it, but I was going to become a part of, you know, the extended crew. Yeah, so I just feel blessed in knowing you and being a part of this village. And just thank you for putting this book out. You gave me the honor of being able to read an early copy of it, and you know, and provide some comments. And so I can let everybody know you're in for a great read. It's really well done. The project was done very, very well. And it's something, like Brother Ham said, it's something that we need right now. So, thank you.
Thank you, my brother. And so for those who don't know, LeDerrick, we used to do this program called Epic Visions. We mentor into the high school students. LeDerrick is a poet, and in addition to being a math tutor. So I wanted to try to dispel this idea that you can only be good at one thing. And so the brother has 2 CDs of poetry out. He's, you know, was in special ed for many years. He was in school, and despite that designation, fought through to get his degree and is doing some incredible things, trying to change the perception of people with disabilities. And so that's why I say, I mean, we have a phenomenal village. We just have to harness all the talent in this village and figure out how we can make some significant contributions. And so thank you, brother. You know, and LeDerrick's dad just passed. And so, brother, you know, I'm just always profoundly grateful, man, that despite the challenges that you've been going through, man, that, you know, whenever, you know, something's transpiring, but you always participate. And so on that note, I want to say this. This is the first, right? August 8th, we get to do this again. Although LeDerrick's going to do some poetry, I see Tamara's on. Tamara's going to sing, and hopefully her and her daughter Kadiela are going to do something for us. We're going to have some African dancing, some drumming. We're going to have a serious celebration because I'm confident that we're going to become a #1 bestseller. And so August 8th is going to be the time which we actually get to celebrate being a #1 bestseller, to bring the village together, to share some artistic presentations, and to have the opportunity to share some libations physically and virtually. But, you know, and so for those of you who have already bought a copy of the book, we're going to figure out a way to have some type of opportunity, someplace to sign some books, to see each other, to whatever we have to do to social distance so that, you know, we can all stay healthy and well. But I am just phenomenally grateful that this moment has arrived, and seeing all of the different people that are on the calls and on the live stream, just phenomenal. It's just an amazing moment. And so whenever I do libation, I always try to close with Sister Maya Angelou, because I mean, that sister was just so incredibly profound and just amazing. And when she does the Still I Rise poem, and we are still rising, we are still overcoming all the obstacles and barriers that people have put in front of us. But she ends that poem by saying that we are the hope and the dream of the slave. And so when I was writing this, I was thinking about, like, my grandmother was born during Jim Crow. My mother was born during the Great Depression and still growing up during Jim Crow. And so while certainly I face some challenges, but I'm clear about, you know, the fact my opportunity to get sold away, right? I mean, so I want us to think about the fact that, yes, you know, we face some challenges now. When we used to drive to Florida and my crew would, you know, kind of get uncomfortable, I said, listen, Harriet Tubman was walking for freedom under the threat of death, so what y'all complaining about? So, you know, so sometimes, so not building that history, sometimes that history, we have to remind people of where we at, what we face with, you know, and the fact that we got some benefits that other people didn't have. And so, you know, we need to be profoundly grateful. So that's why I asked Deborah to please do that prayer at the beginning, because of the fact that, yeah, we face some challenges, but our ancestors fought for us to be in the position that we are now. We got to fight so that the people coming after us will be in a position to do something.
Okay. Thank you, Baba. Bonity has been really asking to say something, so I'm going to let him go.
My brother, come on, Bonity.
Okay, you know, I just wanted to get in 2 things because I'm wearing 2 hats. So first of all, from the Rutgers African American Alumni Alliance, we want to say congratulations to one of our Hall of Fame members who is so richly deserving, okay? I mean, I hope by now you know we're very proud of you, okay?
Thank you,
and, you know, we get a lot of luster by being associated with you. So it's, you know, it's a 2-way street. But congratulations, seriously. And, you know, we're going to be getting a few copies. And I'm supposed to be the one to track you down and get them signed so that then we can do a little giveaway. All right? So I want to say that. But personally, I also want to just say, you have just been an amazing, you know, member of the community, okay? And we've taught together. And but the thing is, I knew about you even before I met you, okay? You know, as one of the historical activists at Rutgers. And then I had the performance pressure of having to teach some of the crew. I mean, that was real performance pressure because how are you going to teach, you know, the children of Bill Black Davis? I mean, that was some serious performance pressure. Okay, but I do want to say that, you know, I don't remember the exact quote, but they say you measure the person by the legacy that they leave and those that they have, you know, taught themselves. And so, you know, the crew is a walking endorsement, okay? I mean, we hope you live long, but even without you around, the story would be told just by anyone who meets the crew, okay? They're amazing, you know, from Sekou to Saint Naima, I mean, Imani, just amazing. And it's really been a privilege. And as several have said before, you know, you're a brother, but you're also always a teacher. And, you know, thank you for that gift. I think it's, for me, very poignant because there is always that tension about people who bury themselves in just the academic teaching. And then they look sort of askance at those of us who also think we should be out on the street.
Absolutely.
But you were an exemplar for even like myself, because I always believe that you have to be out in the community.
Absolutely.
Okay. And, you know, I love my academic friends, but, you know, sometimes they wonder about that. Can you balance that? But you are an exemplar of that. And that's why your book is so important also. So congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Certainly appreciate it.
We have a couple more. So Safir.
Thank you, Imani. Brother Bill Black Davis.
Safir. What's happening, brother?
How you doing, man? You know, I have to say this, you know, just thinking about the legacy that you are establishing, I find myself at a loss for words because I'm seeing it unfold before my very eyes. And I think about one of the scriptures in Esther in chapter 4:14. And, you know, she was toiling with the idea of whether she should stand on behalf of an oppressed people at the risk of her own queenship. And her uncle sent a message, and he said to her, he said, "For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for your people will arise from someplace else, but you and your father's family will perish. But who knows that you may have come to your royal position for such a time as this." I'm truly a believer that you are in position for such a time as this, because your story is one that resonates with people who are still enduring some of the turmoil that comes with parenthood, especially being Black in America. And so I applaud your work, not only the work in this project, but this project obviously is one that is going to be replicated. People are going to attempt to replicate for years to come, because it is something that's going to stand out as remarkable. But your life's work also speaks for you. And I'm proud to say I know you, humbled to be in your presence, and grateful for all that you endow us with.
Thank you, my brother. His feeling is absolutely mutual. It was absolutely mutual. And so there's so many people here that I would love to hear from. Oh my goodness. I see Brother Zaid, I see Bobby Wise, I see Marty Gillis, I see CJJ. Oh, my man, Azar, what's up, brother? We've been praying for you, man. Hoping that you get over this COVID, man. Oh, my man's on here. I see my man Jay Wallace is on, my sister Jean is on, my nephew Malcolm is on. I mean, there's just a lot of people on who would be absolutely, we could be here a long time. We could be here a long time, but I just want to shout out some of the people. I can't see everybody because you only see certain number of people on the screen. But, you know, I am just incredibly happy, man, to see everybody on here.
Okay, we're going to wrap up in the next 10 minutes. Aaron Hankins.
Hello. Hello. Peace, peace, kings and queens. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
I'm originally from Philadelphia. I was raised by a single mother, half Black, half white. I know Imani. I met Imani at working at Nike. And, you know, the universe works in mystical ways, and our paths crossed. And I have a 4-year-old daughter, and I wonder when I get older and she gets older, the people that will be in her life and how the character that I have will be reflected in her and in how she carries herself. And I just want to say, Mr. Davis, that your children, and I've only met one of the 4, all I can say is that they are the truest reflection of you. They are the 2.0 of you, that they take what you have and they elevate it. And because my daughter is only 4 years old, this is a manual. Like, you're good. You're giving. It's like when Kobe met Michael Jordan, right? And he learned from the greatest. I mean, we work at Nike, so everything we do is wrapped up in a story. And I think that's pretty much the easiest analogy that I can give you, is that, like, you've birthed these wonderful human beings, and they are, like, as people have talked about on the call, they are going out into the world and they are influencing, and they're making it a better place. And I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you. I can't wait to read your book. Imani, we're already talking about how we can spread his message to the Black and brown people within Nike, because it's much needed, and a lot of people need to hear it. So from one dad to another, thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. And for all the Nike folks, I mean, for people may not know, Nike is going through a downsize, and so there have been a lot of different people whose jobs have been lost already. And so we're hoping that, you know, for the folks who have lost their jobs and whoever else, but it's going to go on from now until October. But I have, you know, a lot of appreciation for the fact that there are people who are on the call whose jobs would be at risk. And when you think about all the people, the 50 million people have lost jobs in the past few months, I mean, so the country is really struggling. And one of the people that I see on the call now is Mayor Matt, who's also one of the endorsers of the book. And so who will be, when we do the August 8th event, we're going to have a roundtable conversation. Mayor Matt, myself, a few other folks are going to talk about parenting and talk about, you know, some community solutions, different things that would help families be more successful. And so, you know, I am just, you know, like I say, just incredibly honored and feel very privileged. Mona Terrell wrote a very phenomenal press release for us to try to get some additional people to participate in it. I see, you know, Marty has committed to buy some books to share with some of her. Marty's been very fortunate, you know, with her entrepreneurial work, and so share with some of her employees. I see my man Michael Sniper. I mean, there's just so many people on here that I mean, we was together. We could all just, you know, have a phenomenal conversation. But we got, remind us the clock watches, and we got 5 minutes left.
Asia.
Oh, Asia.
Asia Waters.
Asia.
Mm-hmm. And then Zaid is up next.
So Asia. Hello, hello. Asia's one of my former students, so I'm hoping she's unmuted someplace. Technology is beautiful things, but sometimes there are some hiccups. Oh, and I do want to say that the e-copy book will hopefully be ready again this week. We had a little glitch, we had to work.
Okay, you're off mute. Okay.
Brother Zaid.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, first, let me just say several things. One, supreme congratulations on the contribution and this inspiration, because I'm behind on several volumes of work I need to get out as a writer, being self-critical. Two, I appreciate also the way you can text the introduction with laying out the serious dynamics of this COVID pandemic that we're facing. I'm a survivor of COVID,
wow.
Right? And it's a nasty, sneaky, dangerous thing. I advise everybody to be very careful. You know, I don't care how young you are, how strong you think you are, how bad I thought I was.
Mm-hmm.
Knock you on your West African, and it's kept some of us completely down and out.
Yes, sir.
Let me try and Baraka-size this. I haven't read the book, but I know what to anticipate, right? And Baraka made teachers out of most of us, right? We're talking about fatherhood and Black fatherhood in the wilderness of North America, a country that was built on 2 genocides, mm-hmm. right? Including the horrific ordeal that our ancestors faced that we have yet to get any kind of healing or compensation from, right? Mm-hmm. Right? This book has to be appreciated in the continuum of the slave narrative, mm-hmm. right? And in a healing contribution to the slave narrative, right? And the creation of this thing called the American slave was the destruction of the Black and African family and our capacity to be family, right? So here comes a contribution that shows us, right? And in a time when we're going through a crazy crisis, at a crossroads time in this country's contemporary history, you know, that there is a way to be a stand-up African man and father, even in this madness, right? There is a way to hold on and to pull back and to reach back using the Sankofa principles, right, of our ancestors to put ourselves back together.
Yes, sir.
Right? Because this thing tore us apart and we're beat up. There's some research coming out through regular channels. CNN put out something on the historical trauma of what the slave trade has done to us as we gear up for this fight for reparations. You've given us a weapon, given us a teaching tool,
absolutely,
given us a resource. And let me get real personal. I always tease Bill, right? I introduced him, I said, this man is my hero. Let me tell you how he saved my life. Well, when he did that, and the short story is, I was supposed to open up a rally for Jesse Jackson's campaign back in 1987 as the young poet back then, right? Got jammed up in the hospital and something told Bill to call the hospital and check on me. And when he did that, I was in critical condition. Didn't know what the hell had happened to me, right? But that sound of the drum call that had everybody calling that hospital, and then white folks had to figure out who the hell is this Syed Muhammad? We can't let him die on us because this is going to be a problem, right? But what's heavy about that is this. That was you at the beginning of this journey of your father as being a fatherhood. And now we look at you and I haven't seen the children in years, didn't even recognize the boys, right? It was Sekou and Toussaint, didn't even recognize all that hair on Sekou's face. He really a man now, look at him, right? Girls are just as beautiful as you were when you were children, right? But you know, that was the beginning of another phase of the heroic dimensions of your manhood, brother,
yes,
right? So I say to you that you're not just a hero for what you did for me, but what you did for those children and what you've done for our community and your willingness to stick your neck out and tell that story. That the heart of our culture is our capacity to tell our stories. They took our tongues from us,
yes, sir,
on those plantations. They took our tongues from us in these prisons, right? You took your tongue back and gave us something to build on. So I have to give it to you like that.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, thank you.
Okay, Asia, let's see if it's going to work for you, girl.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey,
oh, thank you. Congratulations, Professor Davis.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that it was such a pleasure and honor to be in so many of your classes. When I think back to my time at Rutgers, there was so much I just didn't know about my history. I didn't know about Black history. You opened up a lot for me, not just me, all of your students. And I'm just so grateful that I had the pleasure of learning from you. And I'm so excited to read your book. And I'm just so happy for you. And congratulations again.
Asia, thank you so much. I'm glad that you're doing well. And I hope that we can finally have some in-person kind of things, get a chance to see you and some other folks. It would be a true pleasure. That
pleasure. Would be amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, my brother. We're going to close it out.
For some closing
Oh,
remarks.
it's time for some closing remarks.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's been an hour, 15 minutes.
You know, the African concept, this time don't start till we get there. But a profound thank you. For those of you that know me, I always like to say Asante Sana, which is Swahili for thank you very much. And I just feel so honored and humbled to, you know, be at this moment. It's been a phenomenal journey, and one that, and I appreciate the idea of the fact that this is one step and other steps to come. I definitely anticipate and desire for that to be the case, that, you know, there's some serious work for us to do collectively. And one of the things that I guess I'll say this to close. One of the philosophies that I try to live my life by is that we should, as intelligent adults, learn lessons from geese. And so geese fly in a V formation because it's aerodynamically the most efficient way to fly. The goose that's in the front gets much more wind resistance than the geese that are behind. And so when you see the geese flying in the V formation, you hear them honking, the geese behind are honking encouragement to the goose that's in the front. The geese rotate. And by rotating, they can fly 20 to 30% further. If a goose is not healthy enough to fly, 2 geese go down with it and stay with it until it either dies or it's healthy enough to fly, and then they pick up and fly with another flock. And so we have all come together at this moment, at this time, to support each other, to encourage each other, to figure out a way that we can strengthen ourselves and strengthen one another, and that together we'll be able to make something significant happen. And so in the spirit of the South African philosophy of Ubuntu, which is I am because we are, that is exactly the way I think that collectively we'll be able to go forward. So profound and immense thank you. I hope to see all of you at some point. Please check out babaslegacy.com for the August 8th event. I'm hoping that, you know, we'll be able to see each other again, and that we will be able to not only just see each other virtually, but we'll actually be able to see each other in person. Love y'all. Thank you very much. Stay strong. Please buy the book. I want to get a #1 bestseller so that New York Times, whoever, Oprah, come see it, brother.
Bye, everybody.
See y'all.
Bye.
Congratulations.
We love you.
Love you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations again.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations, man.
Congratulations, Brother Bill.
Hey, way to go, Brother Black.
All right, all right.
Congratulations. Part of here.
What's up, Jay?
Hey, what's up? Congratulations, man.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
My man Marshall on the call. All right.
Congratulations.